are some characters cut from a Game of Thrones that, while their role is relatively minor when compared to some, leave an impression on the reader and are memorable for the part they do play in the story. House Velaryon, I find, is one of the most interesting houses you come across when reading the main books for the first time. Given their Valyrian heritage and historical close ties to House Targaryen, they almost come across as a last vestige of what came before. The little information we do get given about the house in the main books leaves the reader with a lot of questions about their past, and how they have come to the point they are during the main books and the War of Five Kings, given that at one point they had one hand on the Iron Throne itself. Thanks to the interest in House Velaryon, House of the Dragon has created, there has been a lot of discussion about, in my opinion, one particularly interesting character, in Aurane Waters, the bastard of Driftmark. Aurane is a bastard member of House Velaryon, born around the year 277 and 278 AC, making him in his early 20s during the War of Five Kings. He is the half-brother of Montford Velaryon, the Lord of the Tides and Master of Driftmark. Aurane, by all accounts, is said to be a handsome and lean man with silver-gold hair, denoting his Valyrian heritage. He does have grey-green eyes, rather than the traditional violet of Old Valyria, however. He has a cleft chin, and has a well-maintained beard, matching his silver Valyrian hair. Given the downfall of House Targaryen, his Valyrian look is quite striking in Westeros during this age, a vestige of an era past, the era of the Dragon Lords. In fact, his appearance reminds Cersei Lannister somewhat of Rhaegar Targaryen, although Aurane's face is said to be narrower, and Rhaegar had the traditional purple eyes of Valyria. During the War of Five Kings, much like his true-born kin of House Velaryon, Aurane is sworn to Stannis Baratheon. Given how House Velaryon typically have a naval focus, it is presumed that Aurane was part of Stannis' naval forces and sailed with Stannis to the Stormlands to treat with Renly Baratheon. After the Battle of the Blackwater, which saw the sinking of much of Stannis' fleet thanks to the use of wildfire and a chain preventing retreat, Aurane is captured by the Lannister forces and then proceeds to bend the knee to King Joffrey I Baratheon in the days after the battle. His true-born brother, Montford, the Lord of the Tides, dies during the Battle of the Blackwater, leaving his 6-year-old son as Lord of Driftmark. It is not known of the exact state of House Velaryon at this point, thus Aurane could be one of the more senior members left. Ultimately, after bending the knee to King Joffrey in the wake of the Blackwater, Aurane, among many others, is pardoned for fighting for King Stannis Baratheon. He manages to win the favour of Queen Regent Cersei Lannister, who believes that Aurane desires her. Cersei goes on to grant him the position of Grand Admiral, formerly the Master of Ships, on King Tommen I Baratheon's small council. The position of Master of Ships, for a long time, was traditionally held by the Lord of Driftmark during the Targaryen era of Westeros, and while not a member of House Velaryon, being a bastard, Aurane does have that connection, being a bastard of the house. Since most of the royal fleet was destroyed along with that of Stannis at the Blackwater, Aurane receives considerable funds to build a small fleet of dromons, a type of ship. Grandmaster Pycelle disagrees with Aurane's plan to captain the ships with younger men rather than veterans of the Battle of the Blackwater, the same veterans that lost so many ships during the battle. Aurane later informs Cersei that Sir Loras Tyrell was wounded during the Siege of Dragonstone to the point his injuries were life-threatening. Cersei believes that Aurane covets Dragonstone, as the lordship he has been granted as a member of the Small Council does not include a seat of his own, but she feels Rosby would be a much more fitting seat for him. But given the seafaring ancestry of Aurane and the fact Driftmark is out of reach, does make Dragonstone a more fitting seat in many ways. Due to the growing unrest in King's Landing after the arrest of Queen Margaery Tyrell, Aurane tells Queen Cersei Lannister that he will launch her new ships on the Blackwater Rush to keep the peace and potentially prevent Lord Mace Tyrell from attempting to rescue his daughter, Margaery. During her imprisonment by the Faith of the Seven, Cersei is visited by Qyburn, who tells the Queen that Lord Waters fled the capital with the new ships after her arrest. During the Winds of Winter sample chapters, according to Valena Tolland, a new pirate king has set up on Torturer's Deep in the Stepstones, styling himself the Lord of Waters. It is said that he commands 3 decked warships. Many fans have speculated and theorized that this pirate king is in fact Aurane Waters, with the title Lord of Water being a play on Waters, the surname of noble bastards from the Crown Lands, such as Aurane, and the traditional title of the head of House Velaryon, the Lord of the Tides. Also, he does seem to fit the role, given House Velaryon's connection with the Stepstones over the Targaryen era Westeros. All we can do, until we see the Winds of Winter, is speculate as to who this pirate king is, and what role they could potentially play in events to come. Aurane Waters is a minor character, but I do enjoy his connection to House Velaryon, and his role in the King's Landing storyline during A Feast for Crows. I do wonder what role he will play in the Winds of Winter, if he at all does have one. As to why he didn't make it into the TV show, given the role and the size of his character, it does not surprise me. By the time the show began to cover A Feast for Crows and A Dance with Dragons post Season 4, it became clear that a significant amount of content that was vital to the story was going to be cut, let alone more minor characters and stories. Ultimately, it perfectly shows how the politics in King's Landing became very stripped down and more straightforward after Season 4 of Game of Thrones.